The content in this video was created for documentary and educational purposes only, so if you're not 18 or older, shut it off right now. And if we disappear, go to cannabislifestyletv.com. Yeah, I think it's super loud. But it's a jail.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. So in Michigan here, and this one for me, just for the people who are saying the market's dying, it's this and that, it's struggling. These are lies. These are called wolf tickets that are sold to us. Michigan broke cannabis, we're gonna say, sales records in April. And some of their numbers are odd to me, but the state saw about $168 million in rec sales and only $27 million in medical, which is pretty big. I mean, it's 195 mil, big, don't get me wrong. But they're attributing it to the drop of cost is the biggest thing. And I do agree in some sense, right? But they're saying that the cost is from, the average was 200 a Z down to like 123 a Z. And that doesn't make sense. I guess if they're talking about tiny buds or shake bags or things like that, but there's not many places that have shit that cheap that ever was that cheap. 2021, people were an average of $203. Like where? Where? I don't believe it. But they've made so much in tax revenue this year. I'm concerned with where that's going to go because our governor doesn't necessarily like to use the tax revenue for the things she said she was gonna. But they claim, I think it was about, what, 40 million in tax revenue? Mike, if you could scroll down a little bit to that tweet, there's the guy who kind of broke it down. Right there, you're passing it. The first tweet. Boom. So there was 13 million in general sales tax, and there was 19.5 in excise sales tax invested in invested in roads, schools, and local government across the state. I want to know where this was. What local? No, maybe local government, but roads and schools, because we've got a lot of roads fucked up and a ton of schools being shut down and condensed.
Well, that's why I don't, me, I'd be high sometimes. And I was just laughing because you remember, let's fix those damn roads. Yeah, we're waiting on it.
Wait on it, lady. Fucking liar. Doesn't matter what side you like, they all lie.
No, yeah, I'm not
people. We got fucking old girl
either
people.
Yeah, I'm not going either ways, but I just irony can be funny.
Yeah.
We were talking a bit about this backstage, if you will, before the stream, and my devil advocate comment to Rob was, he's like, where are they getting this 125? And even he got some of this pink cookies from Franklin Fields a while back, and he's like, yeah, they were little baby buds. And I'm like, yeah, but like when you're writing a headline or writing even data to show for something, a lot of the time it ends up like sounding a lot better than what it is. You know what I mean?
That's how big the buds are right there.
So my point is this, like, they're going to say, yeah, you can get an ounce for 120. I know some places, via people who go to these places, you can get ounces for $80, and that's probably even swaggier. But they're not talking about quality. They're talking about the price. You know what I mean? And from just my radar locally, I feel like they really were like crazy about like dropping prices and doing crazy deals like a little bit before 420. And it just like, that's where it's been sitting. So even that report, I'm wondering what data they're taking that from. Because if you're taking from like, even like I said, the beginning of the year, prices were more like you're looking at least, 2, maybe 300 a Z. And then, clearly when they first started popping these places up, yeah, you were in the neighborhood of 300 to 400 a Z easy because they were able to function at those prices. They dropped to prices that shit would go to here more recently. And I think it's just a little bit of everything, like you said, there's still money in it. I don't think it's like, oh, we can't, this and that, we're so broke we can't do it. But the economy, the saturation of the market, I mean, talking with somebody about New York, like they said to me like, "Oh, well, remember how long we had to wait for shops to get here?" And it was like, there's videos of us saying like, "There ain't no damn shops around us," you know what I mean? And now
Yeah.
there's like 14 that I can think of just in our area. So, well, in a drivable range to our area, and I think it's just, I like to say it's like gas station against gas station. One goes out there, moves the price, and then the other one goes and moves the price. So you see that competition, and at the end of the day, they want the dollars over the buds, so.
Yeah, but then you look at the cost. So I'm not going to say the names, but between the places we've gone to and some people I've talked to, average price per ounce is anywhere from $12.50 US to $25 US. That's the cost for most of these grows for a commercial grow. So how how is it an issue? Like, I think it's good. It's good. It's good. I'm happy that this is happening, honestly. I'm happy that there's more price drop and that the people are getting what they deserve, which is decent quality bud with a variety of options. But then you hear a lot of gripe from the commercial grows and a lot from the dispensaries that, oh, man, the market's struggling. The market's real tough right now. It's like, is it, or do you just want to keep getting super rich off the people? Which one is it? And
Yeah,
maybe I'm just that fucking guy, but man, it grinds my gears. I know how much it costs to grow weed, and I see these places, and they brag about, well, we're trying to get our costs down, closer to like 150 an ounce, and it's like, or 150 a pound. And I'm like, and you have the audacity to say the market's struggling. That's crazy. And then they sell to the dispensaries for like $1,000 to $2,000 a fucking pound. I'm like,
if
what the
they are
fuck?
vertically integrated though too, that gives them like, a stream flow to it. So that makes a difference because there are a lot of cultivation centers that don't have a retail front.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But they
I would
still are
also
getting their shit
say,
down cheap.
you're not wrong, but just again, devil's advocate, bro. Like they, of course, they want to go. If they
Big
can't
baller.
fluctuate the market back to where it was at 60 an eighth, then of course they're gonna try to, move those margins down to that, yeah, in their head they want to be just bankrolling. You know what I mean? How the projections were when it first flipped.
Yeah, yeah.
If they can't, what they don't realize, I think, like, honestly, like Matt Mooney himself, and then like, even the guys at Root Weaver, like those guys understand that like you're doing this, you're not in this industry to strike it rich and become fucking Elon Musk or something simply purely off of this, cannabis grow. You're in it to grow cannabis for a living, and if you're lucky, be financially stable.
Yeah. Well, and
If you
find
have
wealth in what
some
you're doing.
crazy rocket propelled idea, like you better have something super, super intellectually
Well, yeah, you gotta have an IP, something different,
proprietary to
Yeah.
you to fucking make it pop like that. Because honestly, as we've discussed, the money, or I would say the higher profit probability is in the ancillary products of the subcategories of the industry. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily directly in the grows.
Well, who made the most money during the gold rush? The buyers or the people selling the tools to the buyers? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Motherfucking stubble salesman caved
exactly.
in on the gold rush.
That's and honestly, like, hats off to those people. I get frustrated when people think they're gonna get rich off the weed, and it frustrates me. Even in the streets, man. Back when it was more of an open market for the caregivers. Like, I had buddies who were crushing it, and I'm like, fuck you, man. You're ruining it for everybody. And why are you charging so much? Like, this is insane. I know your costs. You're hitting these motherfuckers 275 an ounce. People you call your friend. Like, that's crazy, man. And
Because
the
it
green
was,
rush is, I like what Sindor said. The market is stabilizing. It's not struggling. The big corporations won't say that, but the consumer and the people in the middle and the people observing the market 100% will agree. It's stabilizing and becoming something where you can recommend to go to a dispensary, something where you can take somebody there and it's not a horrible situation. Not everybody has the capability to grow. So to be able to have options for other people, that's fucking awesome. Like, I'm so for that. That's why we do Dank Beaster Booth. That's why we check these places out, not because we need the weed, but because we know others who are watching do. So it's like, let's try to help those people more.
yeah,
And with
we
the new
want to
commercial
use
grows, they're doing that.
our experiences, to help guide people into this stabilizing market. And I agree with that. I just think it's interesting to see it develop because in the same sense, you know, it's still very, very much like the Wild Wild West, which is kind of another story that we have today, in the sense of you're not able to, um, in a responsible sense, use federal banking
Oh yeah,
in these
Washington, man.
sense. And so Washington, I think, if you want to pull that up, has designated a whole task force just because of the influx in robberies of these clubs and any place associated with cannabis that has a large amount of cash sitting around. I feel like I've seen a couple of articles, maybe not this one in particular, but I'm kind of happy to see this one that somebody's doing something or trying, I guess. Because you hear a lot of bud tenders say, like you come work these jobs where I'm selling like doesn't selling weed sound like a great job? Yeah, but until somebody's sticking a gun in your face trying to rob you because they know that you have freaking $22,000 stacked in the back somehow and you can't do nothing with it. However you're figuring out to get your money where it needs to be as legitimate as possible. But that's down to the person the clerk at the counter. That's
Well,
who's
it's like,
that's the first line of defense.
yeah. Well, the problem is they've got no defense. Like you call the cops, and it feels weird to call the cops. Like I've had buddies get their plant stolen, and they've called the cops over it and like reported them stolen. It was weird. I was like, you're ballsy, playboy. I would have just called it a loss.
Right,
In this case, just like Honey's saying over here, Honey Buncho Slugs on Twitch. I don't know, man. This is another cash grab by the government because, like, if you scroll down, there was 70 robberies this year. So that's big, right? But there's also $4.6 million that was pulled from taxes that were given to the sheriff's department that now they're kind of figure out like where is it at. So this is more of these situations like, is this just another cash grab? Or are they just making like what can we do with this money? Let's make a fucking task force and we'll do that, right? And then we'll pay out these guys crazy amounts of money, and then we'll make sure we have an extra budget just in case we need it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't trust the fucking government as far as I can throw them. And the fact that now they act like they care, I don't know. I don't know. Push something local. I mean, I know it's just one county, so it's hard. You can't go too far. It's not like it's the entire state. It's King
No.
County, but damn it, I just don't trust it, man.
I'm not saying I trust it. My thing is even to get the highlight, like this article, this conversation, get more eyes in front of the fact that like it's not right that people selling some. I mean, I guess bartenders are at a little bit of a risk because you're dealing with drunk people or whatever. It's high risk business. We know this, but like, down to the bartender. Hoping that it's a good bartender. You know what I mean? But like, it's just it's sad, man. It's just people. I think is what it is. Like disappointing in people. Like because it doesn't just happen in Washington. It's everywhere. Every dispo is a target at the end of the day, and you hope that you know they have some sort of line of security. Which the only place that I can think of that had like people that I was sketched out about when we pulled up was Pure Options and House of Dank way back in the day. Like they
Little
had
hood.
like strap people out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody else is just like walk in and do your thing, and so it leaves you vulnerable. You know what I
Well,
mean?
they honestly like. This is where I'd rather have private security for these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, why could we have third party agencies or not agencies, third party companies overseas in the war, but we can't have third party like militants here protecting the weed? And maybe we can, but I bet you the cost would be crazy. And there's no tax breaks on things like that. I guess it's the cost of business, but anything the government gets involved in, I don't fucking trust it. It's where 80% of the people live in the state. All right, well, then that makes sense. So, still boils down to why the fuck is it taking so long? Washington's been legal for a while.
And they were
Why
one of the
is it?
first. They were one of the first.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying it's not sus, like the money missing and shit popping up, and what the fuck is a task force? Every that all movies made about gangsters and everything. A task force is just like the cops who fucking were too dangerous to have somewhere else or whatever. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But I just mean, yeah, just awareness, man. I think if nothing else, awareness is important, and you know, I hope
Absolutely.
that, you know, don't be a fuckhead. Don't be trying to
Don't be a
rob
fuckhead.
your
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Speaking of fuckhead, this fuckhead government says this is a decent one. Government's giving you weed in Thailand. You were telling me about?
Oh yeah. I don't. Yeah, like let's turn it over on the lighter, just
On
like
a
the
lighter
news and
end.
shit. Like fuck the government. On a lighter note, in Thailand, they now will give you a cannabis plant as a house plant to use for cultivation, as long as it's for medicinal purposes. Looks like somebody needs a cottage in Thailand, like myself, you know what I mean, or something. I don't know. I just thought it was cool, like comparing governments or whatnot. Like they're gonna give you a free cannabis plant. We're giving away 1 million of them. Okay, hopefully there's probably more than 1 million people in Thailand, but I'm down. You know, I of all things from the government to take, I'd take a free weed plant from the government, stick it in my window, be like, it's a small scale. Oh, they can grow as a small scale commercial enterprise, and then I think they said that they decriminalized it in like 2018, and which I did not know. I don't know, in my mind, everywhere except here is illegal for cannabis, except for like, what is it, like Uruguay? That's like completely legalized. So, you know, the fact that this shows that they're kind of, you know, moving in a kind of ease of cannabis, you know, I'm all about it. All right. Let's go to Thailand.
Oh
Right. Like, I grow me meet up in Thailand. I'm down. You know what I mean? It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, I want to go to Thailand. I don't want to fly though.
Well, you better get a boat.
I'm tired of traveling, man. Already, you know.
No, I know, but I just mean, I you know, like that. You know, I don't even think that it's not recreationally legal, but yet they're saying, here, we'll give you a plant. So, you know,
Confused by that whole situation.
it's confusing, but I'm down. I don't know.
They're like,
I
here,
would
take a
hope
plant,
then
grow
that
it, and we're gonna
means you
put you in
could.
prison.
Right, I was gonna say I would hope that means you could like smoke it and not get in trouble with it, but I don't know. You know what I mean? We might be hyping it up. We might be hyping it up.
But no, dude, I got glaucoma.
15 years
However,
what?
recreational use. So, what do you got to have a card?
15 years in prison. Yeah, never
I had
mind.
a kid with Yeah, so wolf tickets. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Found the fine print.
This is one of those situations like Bait Car. You ever watch Bait Car? Tell me you watched Bait Car. If you haven't, you should watch Bait Car. I don't know if they even play it anymore.
where they set up a car to get stolen.
Yeah, and then motherfuckers will be on there looking around. They're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. I kind of felt like that. I'm
Oh,
like, okay, now I retract.
Shut
Like they're giving out a
That was
million.
the best
Who's the
show.
million suckers who are gonna come show up with this plant, and then they'll just come bust you later?
Yeah. So that's called Bait Plant. Is the name of that show. And you show up, you get the plant, you start feeding it, get some buds on it, harvest it, boom, you're done. That's how it is, bro. I don't fucking trust it, man. This video is brought to you by Mars Hydro, one of the leading names in affordable LED lighting for your garden. From lighting to fans and tents, Mars Hydro can save you $1 while not skimping on the quality. Use discount code CANNABISTV to save on your next order with Mars Hydro. Plant Revolution, creators of King Crab, Mycochum, Orca, and of course, Great White Mycorrhizae. If you're wanting the root system to get you the quality and quantity from your plants, you need Plant Revolution in your garden. Use discount code CLtv to save on your next order.
Like we always do about this time.